Shalom Abracha from Yerushalayim. We left off our last video after we recited the Hasi Kaddish, whether it was from the Oleh Shelishi after the Kiryat HaTorah on Monday and Thursday, or on the other days after the Tahanunim. And we come to the portion of the prayer now which is called Kedusha de Sidra, because in the Ubal Sion, you know that Takadosh, we have Pesukim resembling the Kedusha that we do in the Hazara. So we begin with Perek Kuf Mem Hem in Tehillim, Tehillah LeDavid, preceded by Ashre Betecha and Ashre Shkachalo, the two Pesukim, but we also preceded with a Pasuk which is written in the Kol Yaakov Sidurim, Yehi Hastecha Adonai Alenu Ka'asher Yehanu Lach. This is our custom, and it's widespread, but I just wanted to point out that it wasn't always the custom. I remember growing up, I'm not even sure if it was printed in the Sidurim that we used. I don't remember it being said consistently. And looking into the development of this custom, it seems that there were always Pesukim said before the Ashre, but not necessarily this Pasuk. This Pasuk is mentioned in one of the Sidurim printed in Italy in the 16th century, but we had Mahzor Arab Soba, you'll see other Pesukim. Adonai Yoshia Mechanel Korenu, Ashre Temi Medarech, again another Pasuk with the word Ashre. I guess over time, Pesukim were added, Pesukim were taken off, and we have today the custom of Yehi Hasdecha, and that's what we see being done most often. We finish the Ashre, Lam Naseyach. Of course, we skip if there is a day where there's no Tahanunim. And then we go to Ubal Sion that we mentioned. The Hazan says Ma'atab La'adulam, and then he begins the Kedushat Sidra, which is V'ata Kadosh Yosher Tehilot Yisrael Kara Ze El Ze Ve'ama. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sebod Mechol Askevodo, and then we have an Aramaic translation to that. So a couple of interesting minhagim. Even though logic would dictate that the reason it's in Aramaic is because that was the spoken language of the population, and because we wanted them to understand such an important prayer, we did it in Aramaic. So you would think that we would say that out loud. No, the custom is, Moran writes in the Bet Yosef, Al Pi HaZohar, that the Kabbalistic custom is to say it belahash. So we say this quietly. Also, we sit down for this Kedusha, even though you would think that it's similar to the Kedusha of the Hazara, and indeed this is a discussion amongst the Rishonim and the Aharonim. Our custom is to sit down. There's one other thing I wanted to point out, which to me was very, very interesting, is that when I grew up, there was Hazarim, in particular I remember Mr. Abu Shreiki Alav Shalom from Sitchul, who always prayed Minha of Shabbat, and he used to say the phrase Muqabbelin Den Min Den Amirin out loud himself as the Hazan, and then everybody else would answer Belahash, Kaddish Mishmir, everything would be Belahash. I always wondered why he always added that phrase out loud. I never asked him, but recently I saw in the Sidur of Rav Saadia Gaon an instruction that this phrase should be said by the Hazan. So even though the custom shifted and then we say everything Belahash, Al Pi Bet Yosef, nonetheless it's interesting that this custom to say this phrase out loud, I guess, withstood 1,000 years of changes, and I just found that interesting, although generally you won't find the Hazanim saying it, but I wanted to point that out. Following the end of this section, we have Kaddish Kabbal. Now, this, unlike other Kaddishim which were inserted to differentiate between sections of the prayer, this Kaddish is to complete the entire Shaharit, and that's why it belongs to the Hazan exclusively. Nobody else says it except the Hazan. And it's called Kaddish Titkabal. Titkabal Selotana Uba'otana. The entire prayer is in this Kaddish, and this signifies the end of Shaharit. I know we have Tefilla LeDavid, the Shir. This was a Minhag which was added afterwards. The Ketoret, which we say Kaveh, even a later custom. So this represents the end of the prayer, and that's why there's two things interesting to note. That occasionally we'll see that a new Hazan takes over for the Hazan of Shaharit, now is the time, because the Shaharit prayer is over. Another thing that's interesting is Tefilla David. When I was growing up, I used to observe all the older guys, and they start taking off the tefillin and Tefilla David. Why? Because Shaharit is over. And the rest, of course, Minhag, no question, we say it till the end of Ayun Shabeach, but it didn't have the same status as the Shaharit, and people used to take off the tefillin. Now, today, people like to take off the tefillin later. Some people even study Hok L'Yisrael after the tefillah with tefillin, Tavo Alehem Beracha. But just to make note that the custom was to begin removing the tefillin in Tefillah David. Shalom Bracha.